Your unhealed trauma ruins your relationships. And I'm going to give you the 6 steps in this video of how to work through it so you don't repeat the same patterns, the same fights, the same arguments in your relationships moving forward. This will change your life, and I'll give you the practical steps so you can action it right here, right now. And maybe if you like the video, send it to your partner so you're on the same page with each other. So thank you for being here today. My only request is if you could just literally like this video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe. The bigger the channel gets, the more content I get to put out for you guys to help more people. So thank you in advance. Let's begin. Let's start with this. Your relationships are the ultimate mirrors to you. You attract people and circumstances to reveal where you have not healed. When you get triggered, when you get triggered and go into a trauma response, you get stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, angry, frustrated. When you go into a triggered response, it is something mirroring back something you haven't healed through. Now, outside of real fight or flight, if you actually are in danger, like your life is in danger, you have a natural survival instinct. Fight, flight, freeze. You get that. You've probably heard this before. So if you're actually in danger, your life is in danger, yes, you're going to get naturally triggered. That's normal and natural, and you actually want that to survive. It's a good part of being a human. However, if you get triggered outside of fight or flight, then it's something within you. Now, what do you think is the ultimate mirror to us? Our relationships. It kind of sucks, but it's also such a gift when you know how to work through this. Because when you have a triggered moment, a mirror moment, I call it a mirror moment, when you get triggered or you project or you judge someone or something or yourself or someone, it's revealing something you get to integrate and you get to heal through. And then once you've done the integration part, you no longer get triggered. You're more healed. You're more authentic. Your nervous system is more relaxed. You take more action. You're a better parent. You're a better businessman, a better businesswoman. You're just better across the board. A rising tide raises all boats. So the reason a lot of people struggle in relationships is they don't understand what I'm talking about. They don't take the ownership. I'll go through the steps soon. I just want to teach you what's going on. So let me teach you what trauma is first and foremost. Trauma is a moment of overwhelm or underwhelm. I like to break things down to keep it simple. That's all it is. It's a moment when something was overwhelming, too much, or underwhelming, not enough. And a fair few things happen in this moment. And I'm actually going to show you how to find some of your trauma right now to link this all together for you. So that's what trauma is. So that's the first part. Second is coping mechanisms or coping patterns, trauma responses. It's things that we do to overcompensate, overcome, protect, and hide us from the trauma. That's what a coping mechanism is. Third is a trigger. Something reminds you of the trauma and activates the coping mechanism. Nothing triggers you, it reveals what's inside of you. I use that term almost every day. So let's make this practical. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you've done this exercise with me, you can do it again, or you can use different people. I'm going to use your parents. Don't judge your answers. I love my mum. I love my dad. I can still answer these questions. So remove any judgment, and I'm going to use your parents. We're going to start with dad. So think of dad, whoever played that role for you. Now, in a one-word answer, it will be a trait, a behavior, or a part of him. In a one-word answer, what's the one thing that you dislike most about dad? Something he did or did not do. Whatever comes up for you, you can write it down. Leave some comments below if you want to share some feedback. Now, try answer it 3 times if you can. So come up with 3 one-word answers for dad. Some common ones that I've seen: abandonment, judgment, neglect, overwhelm, lying, controlling, absence. There's some common ones that I've dealt with clients: unheard, unloved, unseen, all these things. Come up with 3 one-word answers if you can. Addictions, I've seen. Victim, I've seen. There's 4,628 traits that human beings display. So there's a fair few to look for. Pause the video if you need more time to find your answers. Now we're going to move on to mum. So do mum. Exact same process. Think of mum, whoever played that role for you. In a one-word answer, what's the one thing you dislike most about mum? What parts or traits or behaviors of her do you dislike? Again, absence, abandonment, rejection, lying, controlling, manipulation, whatever it may be. Think of them and try come up with 3 words if you can. Now, if you've done this exercise before, you can actually do it for anyone. You can do it for partners, parents, bosses, co-workers, anyone that you have resistance to. You can actually do it to anyone, but parents are a good starting point. So pause the video, find your answers, and put your answers down below in the comments if you want to, if you feel comfortable doing that. So Let me link the dots. So those words you just came up with, these are quote traumas of yours. They come from moments in your life where these words were too much or not enough for you. And this is what happens. You split and fragment your awareness. You become conscious of the downsides, unconscious of the upsides. If you've done any of Dr. John DeMartini's work, he calls it a lopsided perception. You have a lopsided perception towards these traits. Here's how it plays out. You run away from these traits and you run into them. You run away from them and you run into them. You have coping mechanisms from these words. You will get triggered when someone does these things to you. When someone rejects you, abandons you, neglects you, whatever it may be, it will trigger you into a coping mechanism. And you attract these things into your relationships. Remember what I said, relationships are the ultimate mirrors to you. So you attract these things into your relationships a lot. Have a look at what I've just gone through and look at your answers, look at the words you came up with, and see how you've been attracting these things into your relationships. Interesting. There's so many deeper layers. I teach this more in my actual coaching, but it's crazy, hey? It's crazy. So that's all I'm going to leave it for now. So you get triggered when someone does these things to you. You go into coping mechanisms, you overcompensate from them, and you will attract them into your life. Now, what do we do about it? I'm going to show you how to heal it. Because until you do, you'll keep repeating the same patterns. You'll keep running away from these things and running into them and attracting them and overcompensating from them, and you run around in circles. What you run away from, you run into. What you resist will persist, if you've heard that term as well. So let's break it down. Here are the 6 steps to make sure you work through this so you stop ruining your relationships. So you stop projecting and getting triggered, and your partner does the same back to you. That's why, honestly, I joked at the start, but send this to your partner so your partner can understand this stuff too. So 6 steps. Let's rock and roll. Number 1, first step, both partners individually take ownership of their shit, their triggers, their traumas, their wounds, their insecurities. Because without the ownership piece, what's going to happen? You're going to project, you're going to blame, you're going to play victim, you're going to take no responsibility. And so you just repeat the same fights, the same problems, the same trauma responses over and over and over again, and eventually just bubbles up and explodes or implodes. So both partners individually take ownership of your triggers. Now, I'm not talking about it massively today, but there is a difference between triggers versus boundaries. If you have mental or emotional resistance to the trait, to the behavior, to the thing that someone did or didn't do, then it's something within you that you haven't addressed yet, versus it's a boundary and a standard that you hold someone to. Now, someone can overstep a boundary whilst triggering you, so you want to work through the trigger while still enforcing the boundary. But once you've worked through the trigger, you can set the boundaries without the trigger because the wound's been healed. But that's the first step. Both partners individually take ownership of their stuff. That's the first step. Step number 2 is you want to start to now become aware when you get triggered. So you're on the playing field. You're in the battlefield right now. You're on the field. You're playing the game of life, the game of relationships. It's now becoming aware when you get triggered. When do you get triggered? When do you go into a trauma response? When do you project onto your partner? What pisses you off about your partner? Those words you came up with for mum and dad, they're probably the words that piss you off about your partner. Interesting. So become conscious. You can't be held accountable to something you're not aware of. Become conscious when you get triggered. That's the first thing, or second part. Once you get triggered, we want to regulate. If you want to go watch my most previous podcast to this one, I talk about anxiety and going into a trigger response, and we want to regulate back into our window of tolerance. So you want to regulate yourself when you get triggered. You don't heal whilst you're triggered. It's not the time to heal. It's not the time to integrate. When you get triggered, it's about coming back into your safety zone, into your window of tolerance. Go watch the previous podcast. I go into more detail about this. I like to use breath work and a diaphragm reset. So you slow down your breathing, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds hold, 5 seconds out, and I do a diaphragm reset. I do that in the last podcast. Go do that one. I'm not going to do it again right here for you guys. Go do it in the last one. So when you take ownership of your stuff, that's step 1. Step 2, you now become conscious when you get triggered, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen tomorrow, the next day, or whatever, whenever it happens next. When you get triggered, we want to regulate ourselves. Don't heal, don't integrate then and there. Just regulate. Get out of that trauma triggered response. Number 4 is we want to now find what got triggered, what was revealed inside of us. The best way to do it is to go back to the moment you got triggered. So say your partner does something and you get triggered by it. You want to then regulate yourself, get out of the trigger, and then self-reflect. What did my partner do or not do that triggered me in that moment? Invalidation, anger, controlling, lying, manipulation, betrayal, abandonment, unseen, unloved, unheard. The list goes on. Find what it is. Find the trait. Find the behavior. Find the thing that they did or didn't do that triggered you. And then we move on to the next step, is when we actually go and then heal and integrate the wound. So we're going to heal and integrate what came up. That's the next step. Step 1, take ownership. Step 2, become aware moving forward when you get triggered. Step 3, we regulate. Step 4, I might have got my numbers wrong. Step 4 is we find the wound itself. We find it. Step 5 is we go integrate it. How do you do that? You do a healing process on the wound itself. My balancing process is my tool that I use for any of my clients. If you know, you know. And my balancing process integrates, collapses that perception, closes off the loop of emotion, and heals the wound. It takes about 60 to 90 minutes. If you want to try it out, I have it in my program. You get a free trial for 7 days and you get a one-on-one call with me. There's a link below. Go grab it. Go heal through that wound, because if you don't, the same wound will pop up again. What you resist will persist. You push a beach ball underneath water, it keeps bobbing up until it's integrated, until you heal it. That's why you've probably seen people, you've probably done it yourself, people get into a relationship and it doesn't work out, they don't take ownership, they project and blame and get triggered and they don't work on themselves. Then that relationship breaks up and either partners don't take ownership of their stuff, they don't heal and integrate from it. Then they get into another relationship and the same fucking shit happens again. They've attracted another person who mirrors their stuff because you're running away from it and you're running into it. So heal from it. Heal from it so you stop repeating the same patterns. Again, my balancing process allows you to do that. That's step 5. Step 6, I call it the dance. I think it's the best way you can put it, is learning to support and challenge your partner in a loving way towards your vision for your relationship. This is the dance of trauma. So support can look like holding space. I'll share a story for both of these. So support is like loving, being empathetic, holding space, co-regulating, loving your partner. And challenge, accountability, holding them to the standards, holding them accountable to what they say they're going to do. I'll share an example for both. So I'm in the shower and I have like meditations in the shower. I play some frequencies and I have a bit of a meditation. And I was in that shower, and previous to this, we actually, like, me and my wife were ready to have some love and sex and connection and intimacy time. So like we put down like the blanket, we lit some candles, we set the scene, and we're ready to make some love together. And then I jump in the shower, I'm starting to think, and I had some shame come up. I had betrayed my wife, I'd lied to her, and I'd done something to hurt her. And it came up for me, and I thought about it. And my ego came up, I'm like, oh, I'll tell her about it later, let's not worry about it, it's not important, blah, blah, blah. And it just kept coming up. And I decided to have the courage to lean into it. And I started to think about it. And I started to feel it. I started to cry. And I'm literally like crying my eyes out in the shower. I get out of the shower and I walk into the bedroom. And my wife's there. And my wife's like looking elegant, beautiful, sexy on the bed. And I'm like fucking snot, crying. Everything's coming out. So I obviously changed the mood pretty quickly. She looked at me. She's like, babe, are you okay? What's going on? Like, what's up? And I said, babe, I've got some shame that's really come up and I want to speak into it. Have you got the space to handle this right now? Have you got the capacity for me? Essentially is what I asked. Can you handle this right now? And she said, of course. Just what else? You're safe with me. Whatever shame you've got, just speak into it. I love you. You can say whatever you want. I can handle whatever you want to say and just keep going, keep going, keep going. And I just got it all out. And she was able to hold space for me. She was able to be empathetic towards me and help me regulate through some shame and some shit that came up. And now that's what support can look like. And then challenge, she said it word for word. Lewis, be a fucking man of your word. You said you're going to do this. Go do it. Hold me accountable. That's what relationships are there for. Relationships are there to help support and challenge you to grow into the greatest version of who you are. That's the gift of a conscious relationship if you do the 6 steps that I've spoken about in this podcast. I hope that helped. I hope that made sense. And I teach all of this in step-by-step stuff with my actual coaching. If you want a free trial, there's a link down below. But let me run back through that. So step 1, take ownership of your shit. Your triggers, your wounds are yours to work on. Your partner is going to mirror them back to you, whether you like it or not. Step number 2 is to become aware when you get triggered next. From this moment forth, when you get triggered, be conscious. Don't blame. Don't go unconscious. Become conscious. Okay, I just got triggered. I'm not going to heal right now. I'm going to step number 3, regulate. Get through the trigger. When you're triggered, it's not time to heal. It's time to regulate and come back into balance. Step number 4 is when we self-reflect to find what was triggered. What was the trait? What was the behavior? What did my partner do or not do that triggered me into a trauma response? Step number 5 is we go integrate it. Go do a healing process on the wound so you don't repeat the same fights and the same patterns over and over again, and your triggers go away. And then to do that, my balancing process helps out with that. If you want that, grab a free trial. And step number 6 is we go through and we actually learn how to support and challenge each other towards the vision. So support that. I don't know if I missed out. Step 5 is integrate it. I think I might have skipped over that. Step 5, integrate the wounds, if I didn't say that properly. And then step 6 is support and challenge your partner to move towards the vision. So that's where you support each other, you love each other, you be empathetic to each other, or you challenge each other, you hold each other accountable. Like there's been times where my wife's wounds have come up and I've been super supportive and super loving and super empathetic. And then sometimes it's like, hey babe, look, this is like the 4th time the same wound has come up. You said you were going to integrate it. You haven't clearly done that. When are you going to do a process on this? Schedule into your calendar and go do it. I'm holding you accountable to it. So again, we do both. We learn that dance of how to do that together. And you do this and your trauma will stop ruining your relationships and you'll actually be able to heal and grow and become the greatest version of who you are. I hope you got value from this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to work with me any further, there's a link down below for a free trial and a one-on-one call with me. Please like, please subscribe, please share it with your partner. Because if they're not aware of this, how are you meant to work through it together? Send it to them. I'm happy to help out. I appreciate you guys. Grab a copy of my book. Whatever you want help with, reach out to me. I appreciate you guys. See you on the next one. Bye.